Talk Ava. Learn English with confidence.
I want to start with something simple today, but I don't want to explain it first. I want to hear how you naturally say it, because that usually shows where the real problem is.
That sounds fair, but I feel like I already know what I want to say. The problem only starts when I try to say it out loud.
That's exactly what we're looking for. Just say your idea the way you normally would.
Okay, let me try. I think people should read more because reading is very important and it helps in many ways, like improving knowledge and also thinking better, and I feel like it's something everyone should do more, especially nowadays because people don't read enough.
I understood what you meant, but I had to work a little to follow it.
Yes, I felt that while I was speaking. In my head, it sounded clear, but when I said it, it felt long and a bit messy.
Your idea is not wrong, but it's not clear.
That's frustrating because I really do know what I want to say. It just doesn't come out the same way.
That's actually a very common experience. And if you're listening right now and you feel the same way, this is exactly what we're going to fix today.
So, it's not just me?
Not at all. This happens to almost every learner at some point. You have clear thoughts, but your speech doesn't reflect that clarity.
That's a good way to describe it. My thoughts feel organized, but my sentences don't.
Before we go deeper, if you enjoy these kinds of real conversations where we work through problems step by step, you can support the channel by liking the video, sharing it, and subscribing. It helps us keep making more content like this.
That actually feels different from typical lessons. It feels more like solving something real.
That's the idea. Now, let's stay with what you just said. You mentioned reading, but your sentence kept growing as you spoke.
Yes, I kept adding more points because I didn't want to miss anything.
And that's where the clarity started to disappear.
So, the problem is that I say too much?
Not exactly. The problem is how the ideas come out, not how many ideas you have.
I thought more explanation would make it clearer.
It can, but only if the ideas are organized. If they come out all at once, the listener has to work harder to follow you.
That makes sense, because I could feel myself losing control of the sentence while I was speaking.
That's an important moment to notice. You're not just speaking, you're building the sentence at the same time.
Yes, I don't plan it, I just start talking and hope it works.
And that's where the confusion begins. You are thinking and speaking at the same time.
So my problem is not vocabulary or grammar.
No, your problem is structure, but not in a technical sense. It's more about how your thoughts move from your mind into your speech.
That's interesting, because I always thought I needed more words to express myself better.
More words don't help if the structure is unclear. In fact, they can make it worse.
That explains why sometimes I talk more and become less clear.
Exactly. You add more ideas, but they don't connect in a clean way.
I think I do that a lot. I start with one idea, then I remember another, and then I add it immediately.
That creates a chain of half-formed thoughts.
That's exactly what it feels like. I don't finish one idea before starting another.
And your listener hears that as confusion, even if your intention is clear.
So even if I understand myself, the other person might not.
Yes, because they don't have access to your internal thinking. They only hear what you say.
That makes me realize something. When I speak, I assume the listener is following my thoughts the way I am.
But they are not. They are only following your words.
That's a big difference.
It is, and once you understand that, you start speaking differently.
I think I'm starting to see the problem more clearly now. It's not that I don't know what to say, it's that I don't organize it before I say it.
Yes, and because you don't organize it, your sentences come out incomplete or overloaded.
That explains why sometimes I stop in the middle of a sentence or change direction.
That happens when your thinking is still in progress while you are speaking.
So I'm basically building the idea while saying it.
Exactly. And that makes your speech less stable.
This actually happens every time. I thought it was normal.
It feels normal because you're used to it, but it's also the reason your speech feels unclear.
Now that you're explaining it, I can recognize it in myself very clearly.
That awareness is important. Without it, you would keep repeating the same pattern.
I also notice that when I speak in my own language, I don't have this problem.
That's because your thinking process is more automatic there.
Yes, I don't have to build the sentence from scratch.
In English, you're still managing both thinking and speaking at the same time.
That makes everything slower and less clear.
Yes, and that's why your sentences feel unfinished or overloaded.
So the real issue is not what I know, but how I use it.
Exactly. You already have the ideas, you just need a clearer way to express them.
That actually feels encouraging because it means I don't need to learn everything again.
No, you just need to adjust how you speak.
I feel like I've been trying to fix the wrong problem.
Many learners do. They focus on adding more instead of improving how they use what they already have.
That's a big shift in thinking.
Yes, and once you make that shift, everything starts to improve more naturally. Let's try something simple, but I don't want to explain anything yet. I just want to hear how it sounds.
That usually doesn't go well for me, but I'll try.
Say your opinion about something every day. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay. I think working from home is better because people feel more comfortable and they can save time and also they don't have to travel and it helps them focus more. So I think it's a good option.
I understood it, but I had to stay very focused to follow you.
Yes, I felt that again. It started fine, then it became too long.
Now listen to this version. I think working from home is better because it saves time. For example, people don't have to travel every day.
That sounds much clearer.
Which one is easier to follow?
The second one, without a doubt. It feels lighter and easier to understand.
And the idea is almost the same.
Yes, I didn't change the meaning, but the way it sounds is completely different.
That's the key point. Your idea was never the problem.
I think I see it now. In my version, everything came at once.
Yes, you tried to include every thought in one continuous sentence.
I thought that would make it more complete.
It makes it heavier instead.
Let me try another one. I think social media is useful because people can connect and share ideas and learn new things and also stay updated with what's happening around them.
Now listen to this. I think social media is useful because it helps people stay connected. For example, they can share ideas and learn from each other.
That feels much more controlled.
Which one is easier to follow?
Again, the second one, it feels like I can understand it step by step.
That's because the ideas are not competing with each other.
Yes, in my version, everything was happening at the same time.
And the listener has to process all of it at once.
I think I do this because I don't want to leave anything out.
That's a common instinct, but it creates the opposite effect.
Yes, instead of being clear, I become harder to understand.
Let's try one more. Say your opinion about learning English.
I think learning English is important because it helps in communication and also gives more opportunities and people can travel easily and understand different cultures.
Now, listen carefully. I think learning English is important because it improves communication. For example, you can connect with people from different countries.
That sounds much cleaner.
Which one is easier to follow?
The second one again. It feels like each idea has its place.
That's what I want you to notice. Not the words, but how the ideas move.
Yes, the second version feels more organized, even though it's simpler.
Exactly. Clarity doesn't come from complexity. It comes from order.
I think this is where I've been going wrong. I thought more information means more clarity.
But clarity comes from guiding the listener step by step.
So I shouldn't try to say everything at once.
Right. Think of it like this. When you speak clearly, you give one idea, then you support it, and then you move forward.
That feels very different from how I speak now.
Yes, because right now, your ideas come out together instead of one after another.
That's true. I don't separate them.
And when ideas are not separated, they lose their impact.
I can see that now. In your version, each part feels easier to understand.
Because each part has space.
That's interesting. I never thought about giving space to ideas.
It's not something people usually think about, but it makes a big difference.
So when I speak, I should focus on one main idea first.
Yes, and then give a simple reason.
And then maybe one small example?
Exactly. You don't need more than that to be clear.
That feels much easier than what I was trying to do.
It is easier because you're not trying to manage everything at once.
Let me try again with that in mind. I think reading is important because it improves thinking. For example, it helps people understand ideas better.
That's much clearer.
It feels more controlled as well.
Yes, because you're guiding your own speech instead of reacting to your thoughts.
I think that's the biggest difference. Before, I was reacting to whatever came to my mind.
And now you're choosing what comes first.
That gives me more confidence while speaking.
And it makes it easier for the listener to follow you.
I feel like this is something I can actually use immediately.
That's the goal. You don't need to change everything. Just change how you build your sentence.
I can already feel the difference in how I think before speaking.
That small shift is what creates clear communication. Let's stay with that approach and build it slowly. Don't try to be perfect. Just say your opinion, but this time focus on one clear idea first.
Okay, I'll try again. I think exercise is important because people stay healthy and it improves energy and also helps mentally and physically in many ways.
You started well, but then you added too many directions at once.
Yes, I felt that happening again.
Try to keep the first part simple. Say the main idea, then pause in your mind before adding anything else.
All right, let me try again. I think exercise is important because it keeps people healthy.
That's clear. Now add one small support, not everything.
For example, it gives more energy during the day.
That works well. Now your idea feels complete.
That already feels easier. I didn't feel lost in the middle.
That's because you are guiding your sentence instead of following your thoughts.
Yes, earlier I was just adding whatever came to mind.
And now you're choosing what comes next.
Let me try another one. I think traveling is useful because people learn new cultures and see different places and also gain experience.
Again, you started clearly, but then the ideas came together.
I see the pattern now.
Try to slow it down. One idea, then support it.
I think traveling is useful because it helps people understand different cultures.
Good. Now support it.
For example, they can experience how people live in other countries.
That's much clearer.
It feels shorter but stronger.
Yes, clarity often comes from simplicity, not length.
I think I was trying to sound more complete by saying more.
But you were losing clarity in the process.
Now it feels like I'm saying less but communicating more.
That's a good way to describe it. Let me try again without thinking too much. I think learning new skills is important because it helps people grow.
That's already clear.
For example, they can improve their opportunities in work.
That works, but you can make the support a bit more natural.
Maybe it helps them find better job opportunities.
Yes, that sounds more natural.
I noticed that when I focus on one idea, everything becomes easier.
Because your mind is not trying to manage too many things at once.
I think that was my biggest mistake. I tried to say everything in one sentence.
And now you're letting each idea stand on its own.
That gives me more control.
And it makes it easier for the listener to follow you.
Let's keep going naturally. I think technology is useful because it makes life easier.
That's clear.
For example, people can communicate faster.
That fits well.
This feels much smoother now. I'm not struggling to finish the sentence.
Because you're not overloading it.
I also feel more confident while speaking.
Confidence comes when you know where your sentence is going.
Before, I didn't know. I just started and hoped it would work.
And now you have a direction.
Yes, I can feel the structure forming in my mind before I speak.
That's the shift. You're not just reacting anymore.
Let me try something a bit more natural. I think watching movies in English is helpful because it improves listening.
That's clear.
For example, you can hear how people speak in real situations.
That sounds natural and complete.
This feels like a normal conversation now, not like I'm struggling to explain something.
That's the goal. Clear speech should feel natural, not forced.
I'm noticing something else. I don't feel the need to add extra ideas anymore.
Because your main idea is already clear.
Yes, I don't feel like something is missing.
That's because clarity gives a sense of completeness.
Let me continue naturally.
I think having a daily routine is useful because it helps people stay organized.
That's clear.
For example, they can manage their time better.
That fits perfectly.
I didn't stop to think too much, but it still came out clearly.
That's because you've started to internalize the pattern.
It doesn't feel like a pattern anymore. It feels natural.
That's when real improvement happens.
I also notice that I'm speaking more calmly now.
Because you're not rushing to include everything.
Yes, earlier I felt pressure to say more.
And now you trust that one clear idea is enough.
That changes everything. It makes speaking feel easier.
And it makes your message stronger.
I think I finally understand what was missing before.
What do you think it was?
I had ideas, but I didn't have control over how I expressed them.
And now?
Now I feel like I'm guiding my speech, not chasing my thoughts.
That's a big shift.
Yes, and it feels practical. I can use this immediately in real conversations.
That's the most important part. It should work when you actually speak, not just in theory.
I feel like I can continue this conversation without getting stuck.
That's because your thinking and speaking are starting to align. Now that your sentences are clearer, I want to show you something important. Even when learners improve, there are still small habits that keep their speech from sounding fully clear.
I think I still have some of those habits.
Most people do. The difference is whether you notice them or not.
What should I pay attention to?
The first one is adding too many ideas without realizing it. Even now, if you're not careful, you might start with one point and slowly add more than needed.
Yes, I can feel that tendency. It's like I want to make my idea stronger by adding more.
But strength doesn't come from quantity, it comes from clarity.
So even if I understand the structure, I can still fall back into that habit?
Yes, especially when you speak quickly or feel pressure.
That makes sense. When I feel nervous, I try to say more.
And that's when your clarity starts to drop again.
I didn't realize that before. I thought speaking more would make me sound better.
It often does the opposite. Another thing to watch is how you begin your sentence.
What do you mean?
Sometimes learners start speaking before they know their main idea.
Yes, I do that. I start talking and then figure it out while speaking.
That creates a weak beginning and the rest of the sentence becomes unstable.
I think I've done that many times.
When your start is not clear, everything that follows becomes harder to control.
So I should know my main idea before I speak.
Yes, even a simple idea is enough. You don't need to plan everything, but you should know where you're starting.
That feels manageable. Another subtle problem is using unnecessary words.
I think I do that when I'm trying to sound more natural.
Yes, but too many extra words can make your sentence less clear.
Like when I say something long instead of something simple.
Exactly. Simple language is often clearer and stronger.
I think I used to believe that longer sentences sounded more advanced.
That's a common belief, but clarity is what actually makes you sound confident.
So fewer words, but clearer meaning.
Yes, and when you combine that with a clear idea, your speech becomes much easier to follow.
I can see how these small habits affect everything.
They are not obvious mistakes, but they shape how your speech is experienced.
I feel like I'm noticing things I ignored before.
That awareness is what takes you to the next level.
Let me try speaking again, but this time I'll focus on everything we discussed.
Go ahead.
I think learning a new language is valuable because it helps people connect with others. For example, they can communicate with people from different backgrounds.
That's clear and balanced.
It felt natural as well. I didn't feel like I was searching for words.
Because you focused on the idea, not on trying to sound complex.
Let me try another one. I think working in a team is important because it helps people share ideas. For example, they can solve problems more effectively.
That's consistent. Your structure is stable now.
I notice that I'm not rushing anymore.
That's because you're not trying to carry too many ideas at once.
Yes, I feel more in control of what I'm saying.
That control is what creates clarity.
Let me continue. I think having good communication skills is important because it helps people express themselves clearly. For example, they can share their thoughts without confusion.
That's very clear.
This feels completely different from how I was speaking before.
What feels different to you?
Before, I felt like I was chasing my thoughts. Now I feel like I'm guiding them.
That's a strong shift.
Yes, and I don't feel the need to add extra ideas anymore.
Because your main idea is already doing the job.
I think that's what changed the most. I trust the simplicity now.
And that trust makes your speech stronger.
Let me try one more. I think reading regularly is useful because it improves thinking. For example, it helps people understand ideas more clearly.
That's clear, focused, and complete.
It feels natural, not forced.
That's how it should feel. I think I understand now. I didn't need more words, I needed better control over my ideas.
Exactly. You didn't learn new words, you learned how to express your thoughts clearly.
That really changes how I see speaking. It's not about adding more, it's about organizing what I already have.
And once you do that, your speech becomes easier for others to follow.
I feel more confident now because I know how to build my sentences.
That confidence will grow as you keep practicing this way.
This feels like something I can use in real conversations immediately.
That's the goal. It should work when you speak, not just when you think about it.
I'm glad we approached it this way. It feels practical and real.
If this conversation helped you see your own speaking differently, you can support the channel by liking the video, sharing it, and subscribing to Talk Ava.
And if you practice this, even in small conversations, you'll start noticing the difference quickly.
Clear thinking leads to clear speaking, and that's what makes your English sound natural.